The urgent message arrived through the emergency telepathy network, originating from Ramiris. Hey Rimuru, we're facing a crisis. You always bring up issues, but I've got my hands full too, you know. I tried to lighten the mood, but this time, it was a genuine emergency. No time for jokes. I've lost contact with Milim's forces. I ordered an immediate investigation, but I've got a really bad feeling. Just moments ago, Gobta and the others had returned after defeating Zelenus. However, trouble struck right after their return. The video feed monitoring the war situation suddenly went dark. Thankfully, the portal connection remained intact. Gobta and the team were sent back to assess the situation urgently, and true to Ramiris's character, she contacted me right away. This is serious. That's what I've been saying. This truly was a no time for rest situation. I didn't suspect Milim, but I had a theory about the video interference. It must be Velzard. Seal-san agreed with me, and I was nearly certain of it. Tell Gobta and the others not to push too hard. I'll be back soon. I relayed this to Ramiris and ended the conversation. Then, I turned to Lumina's. Sorry, but there's an emergency. What's happening? Most likely, Milim and Velzard are in a conflict. I need to contact Guy, so I'm heading back. Alright, we'll prepare for Dagrul here. Don't worry. Exactly. We'll show them we can handle those giants on our own. Lumina's reassured me, and even Shin expressed confidence in handling the situation. While I couldn't entirely trust their words, I felt I could rely on them for the time being while we devised a plan. Well then, I'm off. Yes, leave the rest to us. Good luck, Rimuru-sama. Supported by Shin and the others, I returned to Tempest once again. Upon my return, I headed straight to the control room, only to be met with a shocking sight. This was not good, far from it. On the large screen, I saw Milim, completely consumed by rage and transformed into a monstrous form, engaged in a fierce battle with Velzard, a bewitching beauty who showed no signs of backing down. They were evenly matched, and it was like a clash of titans. What's happening here? It's a good thing Gobta is recording. I'm asking about the situation. Oh, right. It's really bad. I could tell that Ramiris was utterly overwhelmed. The Rimuru, who had risen from his commander's seat, welcomed me and explained the situation. We were celebrating the victory over Zelenus when suddenly we lost contact. I dispatched Gobta, who had just returned, to scout the area. He confirmed that Velzard-sama and Milim-sama were in combat. The battlefield had turned into a frozen wasteland, devoid of any life. Ranga, accompanying Gobta, attempted to gather scent particles through wind manipulation to gain insights, but all scents had vanished. So, even though the visual feed showed people turned into ice statues, it was likely the entire battlefield shared the same fate. I wanted to inspect the ice sculptures, but even with Gobta protected by Ranga, it was too dangerous, or rather, impossible to approach. Is it really that dire? Yes, we recorded this video from the maximum possible distance. Gobta complained, but I urged him to be brave. Kara and her subordinates were still there, but I couldn't contact them via telepathy net. We were supposed to be connected through the soul corridor, but everyone on the battlefield was either alive or dead. It was indeed the worst-case scenario. I couldn't bear the thought of Kara and the others being casualties. Carion and Frey-san must have been present too. There were so many million-class individuals there, it seemed inconceivable that they all perished without a chance to respond in an emergency. We had agreed to hold the line if a crisis arose. But here we were. It wasn't clear from the video, but it seemed like Milim had gone berserk. She was unleashing an unprecedented level of power in her battle against Velzard. I couldn't help but wonder what could have triggered this. The disturbing image haunted my thoughts, but dwelling on it wouldn't solve anything. Ramiris might be entirely overwhelmed, but I couldn't afford to follow suit. The battlefield was undoubtedly chaotic. I needed to change my mindset and focus on our next steps. What should we do now? Panicking wouldn't help. In times like these, I needed to consider our options rationally and tackle them one by one. All the remaining dungeon's Elite 10 members should be summoned. Gobta and the others should return. It's too risky for them. But I don't think Milim and Velzard's battle will end easily. Right now, only Veldora and I can potentially deal with an out-of-control Milim, correct? Honestly, I didn't like it either. If Milim truly went berserk, could anyone really stop her? I'd heard that Ramiris had intervened in the past when she clashed with Guy, but I couldn't expect much from Ramiris nowadays. However, clinging to that nearly impossible chance. Hey Ramiris, just a thought. But do you think you could bring Milim back to her senses while I keep Velzard in check? Hey, are you trying to get me killed? As I suspected, it was an impossible task for Ramiris, who had reverted to a child. No, I thought it was impossible from the start. But I didn't expect them to come up with a plan that would drive Milim to this. While Rimuru and the others gathered the executives, I needed to devise our next move. I never anticipated this. Having a traitor among our own was bad enough, but I never imagined a calamity of this magnitude. No, I knew it was an effective strategy, but I didn't expect it to reach this point. If Milim goes berserk, there's a chance the world will collapse. This is a forbidden strategy, sparing no one, and if they're willing to resort to this without hesitation, we must prepare for a dire situation. What did that mean? Releasing the world-destroying dragon Ivarage is the most likely scenario, but we should also be on guard for other dangerous methods. In other words, all bets were off, no rules applied. It was truly dire. Bringing an enraged Milim back to her senses was already a monumental challenge, let alone with Velzard's interference. I considered asking Veldora for help, but the moment Velzard appeared on the monitor, he conveniently remembered something he had to do and vanished. That guy was truly unreliable when it mattered most. Well, I couldn't blame him. I would probably run too if I could. However, this was a grave situation that could potentially lead to the destruction of humanity. Complaining wouldn't help. It was time to stop lamenting and focus on finding solutions.